Hello and welcome to the United Community Channel. This is your match reaction. Aston Villa 1, Manchester United 2, and an absolute brilliant result for United. Probably not the greatest of performances, well, definitely not the greatest of performances for United, but we won't complain. 3 points on the board, and we go to within 5 points of the top 4, which is absolutely brilliant. We've got some of the members on, as usual, guys. We've got Oisín, Desi, Chris, and Ben. Thanks for joining, as always. Oisín, you're on my direct left, I think. Whatever. Yep. Left, right? Okay, yeah. Perfect. Left. Go on, give us your thoughts on that. Probably delighted with the result, but the performance maybe not as much.
Relieved is the word I'd use. We had, I won't say controlled 20 minutes. We had a good opening 20 minutes. We scored a goal. And then, unfortunately, typical United style, we sat back. I thought after West Ham last weekend that we turned the corner, would be a bit more possession-based and a bit more kind of controlling of the tempo and the pace of the game. But that seemed to go out the window today. And we were saved by Onana towards the end of the first half and early in the second half. And I hate saying it, but in this United team, there's always a goal against them. And it was just a matter of time before it came. And I think, my favorite player of all time, Scott McTominay, has been saving us recently. So, we'll stick with that, I will not have a bad word said against that man by anybody but me. But he's, look, he's been digging us out of a hole, hasn't he?
Yeah.
We all raised an eyebrow when Ten Hag made that switch. Well, who are we to double guess Ten Hag?
Absolutely. Desi, give me your thoughts on the game. Obviously, 5 points away from top 4 now, and maybe we're starting to. I obviously don't want to get too carried away, but top 4 is looking like a real opportunity to us now.
Yeah, well, we're back in the mix. It'd be the same. Just relieved that we got the win. We didn't look convincing at times. I thought they played the ball through our lines fairly easy. I think Onana was probably our best player, to be honest with you. That's just my opinion, but relieved to get the 3 points. It was a tough watch at times for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben, what did you make of it? Obviously, like we were saying there, Onana, probably man of the match for me, I would say. I think he was absolutely brilliant. Highland scoring again, all these good things. But I suppose, are we starting to show a little bit of character maybe more than anything else?
Yeah, today was always going to be a tough game, weren't it? So it was more about the 3 points today for me rather than the performance, which we've walked away with. Because Aston Villa's no pushovers now, are they? So let's just build from it and let's keep going.
Absolutely. Chairman, over to you. Give us your thoughts. Like what Ben said there, 3 points are what is the most important thing. And we've got 3 points now, and we're back in the mix.
We are, and that's like we talked about last week. It's from the West Ham game to this game, it's it's a big test, and we came through. Is it a full performance? No, we had some lapses and stuff, but like Oisín said, that the difference between West Ham and Villa press. And West Ham don't, and they just sit back. So it was easier for us to have possession. I just think our next step is playing teams like this, that we need to move even better than we did against West Ham and be able to hold possession. Because Villa they're no slouch and they press. So I think that's the big takeaway from there. It's like, okay, we can play, we can do that, but like you said, there's always a goal in us somewhere that we give up. And if it wasn't for Onana today, it would have been, we would have been on the other end.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to get through some of the comments early doors here and see what people are saying, and see what the feeling is like. Still want a bit of clarity on that Casemiro yellow. Yeah, it was very harsh. Emma saying, I'm relieved. Colin is saying, we can still get fourth. Next 3 games are must wins. Yeah, we go into it. I don't want to kind of jinx it and say an easy run of games, but probably an easier run of games that we've gotten the last maybe 2 or 3 weeks. John says, great result, gives us hope. Reece says, amazing, graceful, sensational. Just some of the words to describe this team. Oh, not that far, but I like your positivity, Reese. Danny says it wasn't a great performance, but a win is a win, and at the end of the day, a very big, important 3 points for us. Happy days. This was much needed. Derek says eventually we are out of the minus goal difference. Fucking hallelujah! I think we're bang on 0 now. I think, which is good. Smurfy lad says Scotty is turning into Chikorito. Finn says, wasn't pretty, but stuck at it. 13 goals in the last 4 games shows improvement. It certainly does. 3 big points and another goal for Big Rasmus. Well, let's stick on that one then, that Benny's comment. I'll go to you, Oisín. Rasmus scores again. He's turning into a fucking good player, isn't he?
Yeah, and still he's living on scraps. He's still finding these goals for himself. Right place, right time. Today's goal was a classic poacher. 6-yard box tapping, and that's what we've been missing. We haven't had a player like that since Rude, maybe a class, but I don't
Van
want
Persie,
to just
maybe.
Say again.
Van Persie, maybe.
Yeah, but a lot of Van Persie's goals came outside the box as well. He was a fast in the box, but Van Persie was a bit more all-rounding. But that's the kind of player I'd like Rasmus to be, a bit of a Van Persie, get goals from everywhere. Yeah. But he is still relying on scraps. But 5 and 5, can't take that away from him. And he just needs to get that supply. Garnacho and Rashford were missing towards the end of the first half, middle of the second half. There was nothing coming to him, and he was still just living on scraps that he created himself a lot with his press.
Yeah, absolutely. Desi, I'll go to you on this one. Luke Shaw, massive loss on that left-hand side. Let's hope it's not too serious, but the importance of Luke Shaw was shown there in terms of between the first half and the second half. That whole left-hand side of United was completely gone. Big worry if he is going to be out for a sustained period of time.
Yeah, massive loss. And I think I watched one of your videos where you were mentioning that, Rashford looks like a different player now that Shaw's back in.
Yeah.
And I kind of said back to you that we need him to be performing without Shaw, but you could see it there today. He does benefit from Shaw being behind him, and it is a good link-up. And if he's out now, hopefully it's not too bad, because they look dangerous when they're playing together.
Yeah,
and they have a good understanding of one another. We don't look weak on that side either when them two are playing. I think Shaw might be in his ear as well to get back as well. So yeah, I just hope it's not as bad as what it seems.
Absolutely. Ben, going from one fullback to the other, Delo is really after, the last maybe 3 or 4 games, is really after making a claim for, like we've been talking in the past maybe 12, 18 months about going out and buying a world-class centre-back or right-back. Now, I'm not saying he's world-class, but his performances over the last few games have certainly been well improved.
Yeah, definitely. He's doing a good job for us, isn't he, like you say. Is he going to play there for us next season? I don't think so. I think we still should go into market and get one, but if he keeps doing the way that he is, he's going to prove us wrong again, isn't he? A bit like Scott McTominay is.
Hey, right, let's move on to Scott McTominay, and guess who's up? It's Chris.
Oh, man.
We've been mentioning this now. This is our 3rd week in a row about mentioning Scott McTominay and his impact on games. And the kind of the theme of the question has been, is there a case to keep Scott McTominay next season? And as the weeks go on, is that case getting stronger and stronger?
No. No. And maybe I'll say this. I mean, Scott McTominay's been playing out of his mind, and that's fine, and I'll give him his due, and I won't call him by his other names because he deserves it. But at the same time, if we were in a different, and I only say this in this fact, that if we were in a different situation financially with the club and not so strung out by FFP, then I mean the thing with McTominay is if we sell him, it's 100% profit, and we need that, and that's the only reason why I say that if we were in a different financial standing where we didn't have to do that to help us out, then I would say, yeah, keep him as a super sub and do that. But I think that we need him. We need the profit from his sale because it's 100% profit, and that's the only reason why I say it. I mean, he's been playing out of his mind, and, but again, when he plays, it's one of those things where you can't give him any responsibility, but just go in the box and try to make a muck of it, and score some goals. And that, I mean, but that's not sustainable for a full season. I'm sorry. I just can't go down that road. But I just think financially we need to sell him because we need the profit, because we got to make up for the Anthony and the Jadon Sancho. And, I think that's the problem. And that's why I think we'll sell him. And I hope he plays well the rest of the season, because then it just goes up.
Yeah. Oshin, would you agree? You've obviously been a slight critic of McTominay as well. Is there a case to keep him next season, or do you think we should maybe move him on? Oh, you're muted. Sorry.
Only a small bit, only a slight critic, no more than that. But I think it's funny that Chris has gone from saying sell him because he's a crap player to sell him because we need the money. So that's a huge turnaround from Chris. He has to go. I mean, he's look. No one can ever deny that when he goes out there on the pitch, he gives 100%. It's just a shame that his 100% is nowhere near the 100% required for Man United.
Yeah.
And that's the cold, hard fact of it. He's dedicated, he's passionate, but that's where it ends. There's not enough talent there to back up the passion and the commitment. There isn't.
Yeah.
I would love to say keep him as a super sub. What's the point for him and for us? We need to move on to better players, and he needs to further his career as well. So for me, he has to go.
He has to go. Yeah. Oshin, while I've got you there as well, I want to talk a little bit about Andre Onana. Starting to put in some really good performances, and he's starting to get consistent. We've got 2 or 3 really good performances out of him now in a row. Has he turned a corner maybe?
I think it's too early to tell. I mean, the last 2 games, the previous last 2 games, he had a settled back 4 in front of him. Then we lost Leach. Today we lost Luke Shaw. So look, he played a lot more sweeper keeper today than what we've seen him play since he came to United, and he was off his line much quicker than what he ever was since he came to United. But we still need, and it's not just him. Look, I mean, it's the entire back 5. We need more consistency there. There's always going to be a goal against us, and he has to share his own blame in that as well. He has saved us, but that's his job. To paraphrase another Corkman, that is his job. But he has to. He will have to improve, because he's right now the goalkeeper now, and we expect high things. Might expect too much, but we do expect high things for a goalkeeper. But it's promising. It's better than what it has when he first arrived. He seems to have eliminated a lot of the silly mistakes, which were the easy ones to eliminate. Not to eliminate, but now he just needs to. I think if we get a settled back 4 in front of him, we'd see a much better Onana.
Yeah. Absolutely. Welcome to all the new channel members as well, guys. I've gifted 10 memberships there over the last few minutes. So welcome to all of the new channel members as well. Let's get down through some of the comments here and see what people are saying. Warren says, we're playing in a more mature manner. Shane Casemiro is getting booked basically every game for the most part. He seems to be stealing the midfield nicely, and Menu just keeps improving. Matthew says, I'm happy we're slowly finding form. It's about time. 8 wins over our last 9, says Reese. Scotty is the new Solskjaer, says Finn. Neverworld says, Highland scoring again is perfect. Every single goal he scores builds that confidence for the next game. We can't start Menu that high, as it invites unnecessary pressure on Casemiro. I think Bruno was the more advanced, but Colin says 4th place and FA Cup final would do me this season. Let's see what else people are saying here. Still need more in control in possession, says Dylan. Yeah, I agree. And that's one of the concerns. You would still say that we're not controlling games enough. Because Villa, now I know Villa are at home and they're a decent side, and to get a 2-1 snatch and grab, you would take it any day of the week. Danny says Erasmus is a good player and he's getting better and better every single game. 5 and 5. Delighted things are starting to work out for him. Special player. Colin says Erasmus has settled into the team. George agrees with Oshin. He says we give him the supply. He is a 20 to 30 goal a season striker, in my opinion. Yeah, I would agree with that as well. Absolutely. I want to talk a little bit about Eric Ten Hag's in-game management, and I'll give you the final say on it, Oshin, because you've been the most outspoken. I'll go to you, Desi. Decisions that he's been making, obviously today Scott McTominay coming on gets the winner. They're starting to improve, because obviously we've been a little bit critical of him over the last few weeks, but he seems to be getting them right lately.
Yeah, well, I think 60 minutes in, did Gary Neville say something about he was bringing McTominay on maybe to tighten up the midfield? But I thought he should have seen that a lot earlier on in the game for me, because they were just slicing through us like a knife through butter at stages with passes
Yeah.
through the middle. They were going through the middle so easy. I was actually shocked. I didn't know whether they just couldn't get a hold of the midfield because it seemed like we were lost in there at times. I was looking around for Kobe Mainoo. He was running back from the halfway line. They were already in our half. On a couple of occasions, same with Casemiro. I just thought we
Yeah.
were a little bit lost in there. But Scott McTominay must be getting a few brown envelopes because every time every time he comes on, he's scoring. I don't think he's going to get rid of him because he's took him out the fire a few times now, hasn't he? Like,
Yeah.
but
Certainly.
so his in-game management, I just think personally we needed to get more of a hole in the centre of the park today, and he could have done it a lot earlier in the game. But yeah, look, things have worked out from today, but it could have been the other way. I definitely
Yeah.
think Onana kept us in that game.
Absolutely. Ben, like even when I seen Scott McTominay coming on, you'd be thinking, right, he's gonna come in, he's gonna consolidate that midfield. But he seemed to nearly be playing up alongside Rasmus Højlund at times. But again, Ten Hag makes the right decision by the looks of things.
Yeah, defo. As you say, Scott's an impact player for us now, isn't he? Comes on,
Yeah.
go and get a goal, and it works, doesn't it? So keep doing it if it works.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't complain. Can't complain. Chris, what do you make of it? Obviously, I'm just happy with Ten Hag substitutions, I have to say.
No, I mean, I think they're getting better because we're getting healthier. But
Yeah, well, true, yeah.
To Desi's point, about through the middle, I still think that when you don't have Leacha, the butcher, back there controlling everything in the center of the park, I think that's where we had the same problem at the beginning of the year. It's like people come through the middle because we don't have him there, and I think when you take him out of the team, the middle of the park becomes open. I think he just holds everything together. He tells everybody where he needs to be. Everybody trusts where he needs to be. He reads the game so well. I mean, Varane, and as good as Varane is and Maguire's been playing, they're not the same type of player. I mean, he reads the game so quickly that it's ridiculous. And I
Yeah.
think that's
Sorry,
what
sir.
really holds.
Do you think that is it just me or doesn't Varane look very uncomfortable on the ball? So like when, the likes of Varane and Maguire, they don't look like ball playing defenders. Where the likes of what you're saying, Martinez, when he's on the ball, like it's a completely different player.
100%. I think Varane kind of like when Martinez is in there. I think Varane kind of goes off to the side and he
Mm.
doesn't want to play the ball. And Martinez is the one that's playing the ball throughout. And with Maguire back there, it's just like, oh please, no mistakes. Like
Yeah.
just don't do it. Just
Yeah.
get rid of the ball. You and your big yellow feet, just kick it. Like just like I mean, somebody should really look at him and say, don't wear those shoes because it makes you look even bigger, a big oaf than you already are. So it's just
Yeah.
like. But at the same time, I think Martinez holds everything in the middle, and he allows Casemiro to go forward a little bit more and Manu to go forward. So they're kind of they got used to that, and so they get sucked out. And I think that's the big problem with us. As far as the substitutions, I mean, I can't complain about them. I mean, I think that I think we still lack on the bench, of course, but you know, I mean, Amrabat coming in was probably to try to shore up the midfield at that point, but
Oh
I
yeah,
think the
yeah.
big
Just get defensive players in behind the
yeah,
ball.
just stick some guy in there to stop it. But I think that game once Shaw went out, it changed because
Yeah,
now they're bombing
absolutely.
down the left side, and it's just like, oh no, like
Yeah,
please, just
absolutely.
getting away. So
Yeah. Oh, Sheen, like whatever about the substitutions to bring Scott McTominay on, big call for it to be Marcus Rashford to be the one going off then as well.
Yeah, that was a weird one. No one saw that coming, did they?
No.
Look, my problem with Ten Hag and his in-game management, whatever with substitutions is, like Desi said, we can all see the stuff that's happening. Chris is 3,000 miles away, for God's sake. He's able to see it. Ten Hag is right at the sideline, and he can see what's happening. All he has to do is sit Mano deeper and cut that off. It's that kind of stuff that we can all see, and he's very reluctant to change it for some reason. I don't get it. It was the same at the start of the season when we had Mount and Bruno playing too high. He did the same thing today. Manu and Rashford and Hernandez were too high, and that left Casemiro wide open. And with the two guys behind him, because we don't have the butcher behind him, that makes Casemiro more vulnerable, as Chris said. When it comes to his subs, what choice does he have? We don't have the quality on the bench. We don't have that. We've said this as long as I've been watching your channel, that our squad depth is paper thin. And that's Rizla paper I'm talking. That's really thin.
It's not even the green Rizla, it's the blue Rizla.
It's super thin,
Yeah.
And it's gotten thinner by sending people out on loan. Okay, they've got to go on loan and get experience, but that leaves us even lighter on the bench. I mean, Amrabat didn't have the best AFCON. He hasn't had the best season. He was a strange buy. Ten Hag seemed to, but look, I think if Maynard didn't get injured, Amrabat's not there, but that makes our depth even lighter.
Yeah.
So look, I mean, I am a critic of his in-game management, but I appreciate he also doesn't have many options to go to.
Yeah.
Taking off Rashford, I mean, who replaces Rashford? If you're going to go like for like, who comes on for Rashford? He was trying to do something.
Anyway.
He was trying to do something different, and I appreciate, and it paid off today.
Yeah,
paid off today. But there's going to be times when it's not going to pay off.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, he basically went with like 4 midfielders at that point, pushed Bruno out to the left and brought Scotty on, and Scotty drop in. He almost playing a 4-5-1 at that point.
It was almost 4-4-2.
No, I'm not saying that. No. But that's just because Scott gets lost in the front, so he never tracks back. So that's why it's 2 up there. But no, I just think he was.
For anyone wondering about the 4-4-2, I just turn on the names there for a second. Look, see beside Oshin, 4-4-2.
But I just think he was trying to bottle the midfield. Take Rashford off, have Bruno slide out. You bring McTominay on, you have Amrabat on, and everything like that. And, Amrabat's a little bit more, has fresher legs and stuff. So he was trying to stop the bleeding at that point in the middle and just clog everything up and then go from there. And then you leave Garnacho and Højlund on, or Garnacho on, because he can. If you're going to break one way, you'll break down his side at that point.
Yeah.
At that point. So like we said, it's who he has on the bench, and I don't even know who else you could bring on the bench.
Ahmad, maybe?
Ahmad, yeah. I don't know. I'm not a big fan. I don't know what it is. It's just he doesn't. And maybe it's because I haven't seen enough of him, because we really haven't. But I don't know. Was Kambuala on the bench too? The defender.
Not too sure, actually. No, I've got it all closed off there now, but yeah, I do understand what you're saying. Like the depth within the squad is, and like I think we were actually talking about it in game as well, that about Frankie De Jong. I think it was. Do you go and sign Frankie De Jong now that you got Kobe Mainoo? Depth, you know what I mean, where you could potentially use one or the other, or not have to play an 18-year-old 50 times in one season. Might not be a bad idea as well. But look, happy days, guys. I think we'll leave it there. 2-1, happy days, 3 pints, and I mean
20 gifted memberships.
20 gifted memberships, and Neverworld has joined on his own as well. Absolutely appreciate the support as always, guys. I think Bover pulled a runner. He said he was going to give 5 and never showed up.
At the end of the game, he was asking how much 5 cost, and I think when he found out, he was like, "Oh."
Yeah, no, I don't mind. Like I said, guys, there's never any pressure. So yeah, I do appreciate. But lads, look, thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. 3 points on the board, 5 points within top 4, and we move on. Happy days. And hopefully we go into a set of fixtures now where we won't be getting palpitations as much.
Who's next, Fulham or Luton?
I think Fulham, is it?
Luton, innit? I'm sure it's Luton.
Oh, it's Luton, is it? It's Luton and then Fulham.
But it's Luton away, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Luton away next weekend.
It's not an easy game, is it?
It's not an easy game. No, not the way they're playing at the moment. Although Sheffield United beating them yesterday is probably better time to be playing them next weekend than it would have been last weekend. But lads, look, thanks for coming on as always. Really, really appreciate it. And I'll chat to you during the week, all right?
Be good.
Take it easy,
Catch
guys.
you later.
Thanks everyone as well for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already done so, please smash a like on the video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. Sorry I didn't get through all of the comments. But yeah, I'll be back on Monday morning for the news show as always, about 10 o'clock. So keep an eye out for that. Ring the bell notification as well. Turn on notifications. If you're subscribed to the channel, you get notified straight away. 3 points on the board. Happy days. Up we go, up that table to move within 5 points of 4th place. Champions League qualification is still on. Happy days. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great weekend, what's left of it, and I'll chat to you tomorrow. Take it easy.